from the great state of Michigan for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. 2 years ago, a groundbreaking story broke out in my district about children, some as young as my two boys, working in factories where foods like the breakfast cereals that many of us eat across America, Lucky Charms and Cheerios, are packaged. These children were handling machinery that could tear their fingers off. The company used a staffing agency to hire workers for this plant, but did not require the agency to verify ages against Social Security numbers. Regulations keep us safe. Regulations protect some of the most vulnerable among us. Regulations protect our children. Regulations themselves are not the enemy, but regulations that are overly burdensome, overly cumbersome, and don't do the work that they set out to do are the problem, and we need to be clear-eyed when we talk about that. Mr. Ahrensmeyer, how can Congress do a better job of ensuring businesses know the, quote, rules of the road when it comes to regulations that keep workers safe?
Well, a couple things. First of all, Congress has an oversight role, and we've heard again that the RFA may not be working all that well. Well, Congress has an opportunity to identify that and to make suggestions. Congress can also make sure there's enough funding to help small businesses, to help support the Office of Ombudsman, the SBA, to make sure small businesses understand and get the support that they need. A lot of the time, some small businesses simply need to know, they need help, they need understanding. So making sure that those resources in place are in place. So it's the oversight and making sure that there's enough money being allocated to make sure the regulations are being implemented in a fair way.
Thank you. My district in West Michigan is home to one of our state's 46 community development financial institutions, or CDFIs. These CDFIs have deployed billions in loans in my home state, resulting in over 41,000 permanent jobs and 27 million square feet of real estate development. There are about 25,000 small and micro businesses in Michigan that have benefited from the support of a CDFI. Mr. Ahrensmeyer, coming back to you. Your testimony highlights how the Trump administration's recent executive order to dismantle CDFI funds, which provide funding to CDFIs around the country, would impact small firms. If the CDFI fund cannot support CDFIs, like the one in my district, what kind of impact can we expect on our local economy?
Well, small businesses, the marketplace has frozen out a lot of businesses who don't have the collateral, don't have the credit score of some better off businesses. And so there are government programs that support that. And the CDFI, the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Act, provides for private financial institutions to put money into a system where that's more mission-driven. But the CDFI fund also supports that. And that, again, it's a cut that is directly impacting the most under-resourced businesses. There's no other way to put it. And we're pleased to see that in the Senate, there's actually bipartisan pushback on that, really a pretty strong bipartisan pushback. So hopefully, we're hoping that perhaps the House will also take a look at that, because these are CDFIs that exist in every red, blue, and otherwise district in this country.
Thank you. One last comment and question for you. Another thing that regulations can do is provide a stable economic environment, helping people to understand that there are rules of the road to follow. I just came back from hosting 2 in-person town halls in my district last week, hundreds and hundreds of people showing up at each one. My constituents are worried about the myriad of uncertainties coming out of this administration, one of them being the detainment of individuals who are legally working here, detained just because of the color of their skin. They happen to have a tattoo that, God forbid, provokes autism awareness or celebrates their mom and dad. In Michigan, our service and hospitality industries rely heavily on immigrant workers. Mr. Ahrensmeyer, can you speak to the economic impact these industries will face if they're unable to find and keep the workers that they need?
Well, small businesses were already facing huge pressures on workforce coming out of the pandemic, and that has continued. And now that not only have employees rounded up, but the fear of that happening so they don't even come to work has created, it's impacted operations. And again, it gets back to this whole issue of certainty. If you don't know that you got to.
Gentlelady's time is up.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yes,
Mr.
big
Ahrensmeyer.
impact.
Appreciate it. Yield back.
Gentlelady yields back, and